So I get this question a lot on arch support or not arch support. And it's a little tricky. And just like most things, there can be some things that if you have some kind of anomaly in your foot, or your foot has aged a lot, there's some arthritis, or you just injured your foot, recovering from surgery, all those kind of things that can maybe change my answer per se. But for the most part, I would say it's probably overprescribed. And what I mean by that is, say you go to a podiatrist or something, you know, you got a high arch, you got a low arch. If you got foot pain, a lot of times they're going to give you an arch support. Which again, if you're going anywhere and they're always going to give you something, that probably means it's overprescribed, which means for the majority of people, we don't necessarily want to be doing that. One thing I just wanted to kind of talk about on the foot is why maybe putting in an arch support is not great, because what is the foot doing? What is the mechanic of the foot? So you'll see some videos that I show through here to try to explain that a little bit. And part of it is it's a spring system. Just like our knee is helpful as a shock absorber, our hips can be shock absorbers, our feet can be shock absorbers, our ankles can be shock absorbers as well. So when we make those too rigid, we are taking away that shock absorber. So like a spring that needs to load as someone lands, like they're running or walking, and it's like a load and come back, a load and come back, and like a nice flow, right? One of the things that we know, and probably everyone has heard, is like you go somewhere and they're like, oh, your foot's pronating. You probably heard that word, pronation, yada, yada. Like it's like a really bad thing. And you can have overpronation where it's going too far, right? And it's collapsing. And then maybe your ankle's doing something funky and your heel's doing something funky. And that's causing your knee to do something funky. Not good, okay? But just general pronation is good. It's supposed to happen in the foot. There's a lot of people that actually have, especially with like kind of high arches, that have a really rigid midfoot, and that's not good. Because what we want to do is kind of loosen that up a little bit, because that's supposed to move, okay? And it provides some support for the ankle. You can get some pain if it's not moving properly. Now, I remember one of the times it's probably the fastest I've ever had knee pain running was going to a store. This was probably when I was in like grad school, so I was more kind of dilly-dallying with different things. Oh, do we do this? Do we do that? And I went to the store and they gave me big, rigid shoes, because I got a big flat foot, a strong flat foot, but I got a big flat foot. And they gave me these really supportive arches. And it felt like when I was running on the treadmill that I was just like slapping, because I couldn't get any motion. I couldn't get any natural foot motion. And I ran like a couple miles or something, and it was like knee pain, and that knee pain lasted like a month or so. It was the fastest I probably ever had knee pain running. It was just because I was running on a brick, which is not good. Like you can't go to any running expert and have them explain that you should be pounding on the treadmill when you're running. Okay, well, what do we do? One of the biggest things I say, no matter what, even if you do need some arch supports for a period of time, whether that's temporary or permanent, you got to strengthen that foot, just like everything else, right? So muscles, tendons, right? Motion, everything like that. Sometimes we do need a little mobility, but mostly we want to work on strengthening. So you want to work on some balance exercises. I do weightlifting and stuff like that with either kind of a minimal shoe. So again, when it comes to arch support or not, I would say generally it's overprescribed. Can it be helpful sometimes? Sure. But should be evaluated and assessed properly, not just by someone who's only looking at your foot, because you are walking on one whole leg. If you overprescribe something, it could hurt a knee, a hip, if you got low back issues, something like that. So you just need to go to a proper movement expert in order to have that assessed. Always strengthen isometrically, non-movement based is going to be the safest way possible. So again, take home is, even if you do want to wear some arch support because you love them, strengthen your foot. It's going to be good. All right, thanks.